all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays.
5 seconds remaining, ball on the blue side. It's not gonna happen. STMC Gold take the grand final.
Because with live sport cancelled and footy fields deserted, there's never been a better time to be a gamer.
Second attempt, but no boost to fall through. He's trying desperately to get another touch, but he just cannot get there. And with 5 seconds remaining, that could have been the last attempt. Colt's gonna get one more goal in. And STMC Gold take game number 1 with that goal right there. Granted, we still...
Playing online games in a school uniform is now the next big thing.
Connie is now in a position. The C4 comes out, smelts out. Lightning can't get the follow-up frag.
This is the world of esports, aka sporting comps played via online games.
It's just like any other sport.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rainbow Six Siege High School League. My name is Milboss. Joining me, of course, is the wonderful Cthulhu. How you going, mate?
Doing pretty good, actually. Quite excited for the second week of HSL. We had a pretty solid set of matches the last week, and, well, this is promising to be just to keep up ramping up the heat, really.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be that way. Obviously, we saw a really tight contest last week. This time it might be similar because we've got two teams from the same school. We've got them going by the names of Beast and Gentleman. They're, of course, coming from MFAC. Interesting names coming on the gentleman side of things. We had a look in the lobby, some funny player names. I think they've sort of gone for a bit of a theme here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sticking to the gentleman kind of scene and theme. But yeah, on the beast side, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much just absolute beasts were the ones to come up with the names as well there. Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup just to see how the two teams that kind of brew in the same kind of school, you could say, would be playing against each one another.
Yeah, well, let's maybe take a look at these rosters, see what we're going to be having a look at throughout them. You know, we've got Cornelius, Reginald, Humphrey, Eugene, and Marmaduke. Those are the names of the gentleman players, and then they're going up against Adoga, Squaznut, Benny, Chiz, and Stumps on the B side of things. So I think you've got your more traditional esports names on the B side, and then you've got your more trolling names on the gentleman side. But I'm definitely excited to see how these teams match up, and if there is some sort of rivalry that we could see start with these two teams coming from the same school.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be quite interesting because I would imagine that they also would be maybe occasionally playing with each other in between the teams. So maybe some inside kind of meta between these two rosters could be also created here. Maybe some of the rather new ideas could be found here within this matchup. So yeah, we'll have to see how things will go. But to mention as well quickly, the two maps that we will be seeing from these two teams is going to be Oregon and Villa to be played out. So
yeah.
Should be, Oregon and Villa actually, they present quite a variety of ways that you can play. So, genuinely quite keen to see what will be kind of the general pace of the maps.
Yeah, I mean, well, we saw Oregon last week, and it seemed to have quite a lot of different variances even between the two teams. And, you know, as you say, these guys might actually scrim against each other. So if that's the case, they might know a lot about each other's different ideas and sort of plans to how they're going to attack this one. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they attack and defend from that perspective, having potentially trained a lot together.
Yeah, should be quite curious, but there you go. We get a few quick overviews of the sites as well, and we're just about to get right into the map as well. Oregon is the first one to roll with, and well, there we go. It's MFAC Beast to actually start defense here on the Oregon for the best of two series.
Yeah, well, let's see how this one goes. Kick it off with the ban phase, and you know, I'm sure we'll see some pretty standard bans coming in throughout this one, especially I think the players should know by now, you know, the new operators are banned out of the competitive meta, so they don't have to ban them in the ban phase. But let's see how this goes down. Thatcher, okay. That's a very interesting first pick.
Yeah, Thatcher has been seeing, especially as of the beginning of the last season, he's been seeing more and more of the bans as well on his side, given that he is still pretty strong operator utility-wise. He brings quite a fair bit to the table. So with him out of the board, you either need to go for a Kali pick or an IQ pick to kind of get rid of the electronics. And to actually follow up on it, Jackal pick, not a bad idea as well. Gives the roamers a bit more breathing room as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Mira is going to be the first defensive operator out. Not super surprised there.
Yeah, Mira has been one of those kind of staple operators that gets banned one way or another. She has one of the highest ban rates throughout the whole of competitive Siege, and well, out of the board, and Echo, matter of fact. This is definitely looking like a much more, much closer to higher-end competitive ban phase for maps like Oregon, where Echo can also exceed pretty heavily and swing the pace of the rounds into defenders' favor quite quickly as well.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting to see some sort of intel gathering operator banned out there. Echo is probably the most favorite to get that ban, so unsurprising to see him out of action.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually kind of a toss-up between 3 operators. It's either Maestro or Echo or Valkyrie, and well, with Mira kind of still being a very powerful utility-wise operator, so yeah, with Mira she can really turn the tide. So one of the teams had to essentially ban her out, and well, the last ban is Echo turned out to be, because I would imagine that Echo is probably the most flexible out of the 3 kind of main intel gathering operators, you could say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And you see some crazy last-second clutches with Echo, so definitely something that they want to get off their conscience. Don't have to worry about it. But here we go, round 1 of the night. Let's get into things. Beast up against Gentleman. And this should be a cracker. Now, I'm interested to see, you know, last week we saw a lot of attacks coming through that master bedroom. I'm interested to see if that's still going to be a very hot point of contention, or if the Beasts here are going to be able to shut that down.
Well, it looks like it's a 2-man spawn. Actually, both of the hard breaches are actually going to be spawning close by to the balcony of the master bedroom, whereas Humphrey and Reginald are actually going to be the ones to go in for, say, the back push. So it seems like a fairly well balanced push. 3 different avenues that could be opened up here, but the main issue is the fact that Marmaduke, actually, matter of fact, neither him nor Cornelius will be able to get the breach done. So they will have to be very, they will have to wait first of all for the Twitch to do her work, while she tries to get things on the way, because everything is banded out, and well, something needs to happen, and well, that something is, well, Reginald needs to get into the site, and that is going to be quite a challenge, given that it's a full, actually, pardon me, it's a 4-man anchor with Benny actually sitting in the shower rooms.
Yeah, got themselves a murder hole there, so
Drone activated.
could potentially see something from that, but in the meantime, a slow and steady push, you know, removing that Thatcher has made this round very, very difficult with the bandit traps, so really have to rely on Twitch. And I think so far the Twitch drone's done a decent job. Reginald's been able to manage that quite well, but here we go, kills start to come in. Humphrey is going to find the first one to Squazna.
Yeah, there's a refrag though comes around. Chiz is the one to get rid of Marmaduke's, so that's Hibana going without her doing any kind of change in the round. And oh, this is a hunt, fantastic, actually hunt by Reginald, actually able to secure the frag, and Eugene is already on the site actually.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
Yeah, they've done really well to just pinpoint all these players, and they've only lost 1 in the process. Eugene is going to be able to get that diffuser down. Now just up to Benny, finds the first.
Attackers activating diffuser.
Can they make it happen from behind? Oh, that was close there, but this one is not going to be easy here for Benny. Already taken a bit of damage, and the gentlemen seem to know exactly where Benny is right now, up the top of the stairs.
Yeah, right now,
really you can do.
Yeah, right now Benny is definitely looking like things are not going to end up working out in his favor. Already the timer is ticking, and he hasn't really made a whole lot of changes and a whole lot of advancements. There's already the crossfire. Eugene is on the point, and it is him to close out round number 1 in favor of Gentlemen.
Yeah, they start off looking a little bit wary about how they're going to make their way through onto the bomb sites because of those bandit traps, but nevertheless they find their way through, are able to shut down all the players on the base one by one until down at the very end, and Benny did well to stay alive, but wasn't much more that they could really accomplish there.
Yeah, an attempt was made. Main one was by Chiz, but he got pretty much traded straight away almost by Reginald. So there, yeah, the general hold that Beasts were trying to really achieve there didn't particularly end up working out, just because it seemed that they were pretty much isolated into those individual 1v1s, and well, from there wasn't kind of any chance to really get a refrag or even assist
Attackers need to
utility-wise.
locate and
So
defuse bombs.
nicely done by Gentleman, honestly. This kind of way of trying to out and isolate some of those gunfights is certainly working out quite well, especially when you're bringing in a fairly frag-heavy lineup. And actually, now that I talk about the lineup, it's a triple hard breach lineup that is being brought on board here by the attack.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice to go for that, but maybe it's just to be able to find all possible avenues of entry. And
True.
let's see how they approach that. I mean, I can imagine, bringing in the Maverick, it's more about finding those
5 seconds
sneaky little
remaining.
murder holes through reinforced walls and stuff like that than actually hard breaching per se,
Attackers
but
must locate and defuse the
nevertheless. Let's see how this goes down. There's a lot of reinforcements around the bomb site specifically. They haven't really ventured out too far from there.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Chiz has actually got a really nice, somewhat of a stock Valkyrie camera, but this is going to be relaying plenty amount of information. Humphrey's actually, he knows that something is up, but he doesn't know what exactly is up there. And well, Chiz already revealing his position will need to promptly fall back, because otherwise that is already a full-on onslaught of the attackers ready to just pile in.
Yeah, Humphrey really aware of something potentially going on there and was very smart not to take a super direct approach. But here we go. Looks like, as I said, they're going to use Maverick to potentially find some feet or shoot out those bandit traps. And that being said, their feet are the ones getting caught up in the mess.
Yeah, Edoga is the one to have the ACOG to try to maybe shoot some of the feet, and actually was able, to deal with fairly just enough damage to force the man out of the position. Frag grenade won't be able to actually catch the bandit charge, but instead it's already a bit of a trade to come out and quite some damage to down onto Edoga.
Yeah, that's really important to be able to find that first
Bomb located by attack.
almost kill, but it does leave Edoga extremely weak, obviously, so
Bomb diffuser.
not going to be easy. That
Attackers
drone
will
narrowly
cover the bomb
escaping with its life. Right now, there's a bit of a standoff, but here we go. First shots are made, and there we go. Eugene is going to follow up with another one. So all of a sudden, this stalemate in the just around the bomb site here is turning into a 3 versus 5 situation in favor of the attackers. The gentlemen right now looking poised to take out their second round.
Yeah, certainly, it almost looks like it was really effortless, really, the way how things really turned out. And well, finally, there is some damage being dealt back, but Cornelius is just on top of it. The man is just an absolute beast with that 5.56 XI, and well, it's just, it's working out really, really well, and that's the second round.
Yeah, really working hard to get that one through, but it all pays off in the end. 2-0 already, and it is not looking really good for the Beast because it's quite comprehensive round wins. They're not, coming down to 1 versus 1s. It's coming down to a 3 versus 1 at the end of it. So really, the Beast need to think about how they're going into these rounds, how they can potentially find more trades, or something needs to go differently for them because it's just not working out for them.
Yeah, some sort of change needs to happen here. Maybe lineup-wise, maybe the way how they organize their defense, because certainly it feels like firstly they losing kind of the round on the utility side, and then the moment the breaches already start coming through, this is where they're gonna start losing the bodies as well. A good idea from the defense as well to bring in the drones, because it seems that gentlemen were relying quite a fair few times onto information that came from drones. So, say a mutant Mozzie combo would be a very potent decision here. And matter of fact as well, whilst we're on kind of on the mute jammer ideas and tricks, there is a trick that you can chuck in the mute jammer on this very small laundry machine, which used to be back on the old Oregon, one of the main plant spots. And if you put the mute jammer there, you can actually jam the main hallway hatch as well. So you will be forcing either to get the Twitch into the site to get rid of that jammer, or a Kali as well, or for that matter, a Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Mute in general is a very underrated, even to this day, operator, especially for newer users. They think, they're not sure exactly the best way to utilize his utility, but I think these players certainly should consider that, because I'd have to agree it's such a strong way to shut down that drone usage, which makes it a lot easier to defend. But nevertheless, here we go into round 3, and once again, it just looks like more or less free reign here for the gentlemen. The Beast not really seeming to have too much going for them right now, and they've got all their players more or less on the site. So, yeah, interesting choice.
Interestingly enough, that drone was completely just went around and just destroyed all of those bandit batteries scot-free, really. No punishment whatsoever, no destruction of that drone, maybe only now, but even then, it's already, the damage has been dealt. So, interestingly enough, Beasts are actually just giving away quite a fair bit of the real estate there for the gentlemen to take, and gentlemen gladly do take it.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say. Reginald's been very, very effective with the Twitch drones. And there we go. First kill underway, surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, sorry, it goes to the gentleman. Cornelius is going to find the second as well. Finally, one gets traded back, but it looks like this push is going to come through now. 3 versus 3, make it 2 on 3 as the players start to pile on in. Squazna and Adoga, last 2 alive, just hidden on the bomb site.
Yeah, Squazna might have the element of surprise here. Tries to go in for the push. May be able to get, but no, he won't be able to get that frag. Will be leaving Adoga as the last man standing, but oh, that grenade is really up close and still has those 3 stim pistol shots as well, so should be able to maybe buff himself up before getting into the gunfight, as he still has a little bit of time, but right now this is definitely not looking well. He's not looking at the right way as well, and there is the angle held by Humphrey to grant round number 3 to gentlemen.
Yeah, Humphrey just positioning themselves in a really good spot. I think that they had a camera mark his position, and then he ran away from that spot, so the dock player there just a little bit too worried about what's happening over at that marker, goes to check that instead of the left side, and there you have it. Another round in the bag for the gentlemen. They're doing really, really well. Once they get, that first or second kill, they just suddenly surround the bomb site. They're able to get in quite easily, and even in a situation like that, Diffuser goes down. There's still 2 players alive on the defensive side of things, but they're still able to make it work quite well. So really, that final push from the gentleman is working to an absolute T.
Yeah. Yeah, Adoga with the attempt at clutching and peeking that one ping that he saw. Was, if you remember that one meme with the cat kind of peeking over the snow at the snow hill, like, what are they doing over there? Unfortunately for him, nothing. It's only his demise. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, let's take a look even at the scoreline. For now, Cornelius is actually, like I mentioned before, the Fragmite of the team is actually performing really the best, having only a single death throughout these 3 rounds, already on 6 points.
Bomb located by
Quite
attackers.
a hefty amount of frags already achieved.
5
Yeah,
seconds left
constantly
before
seeing
insertion.
Cornelius' name come up in the kill feed.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
So we are back down to the basement.
Yeah, back down to the basement. There is a slight adjustment to the roster. We do see Stumps as well now bringing in the Vigil. Same goes for Chiz as well. He is the man on the Maestro as well, which whose utility could actually work out quite well if utilized in a very timely manner. But let's take a look at Stumps, because he could be the man to change things around. Maybe this is going to be the solution for Beasts to actually start taking the dubs here against gentlemen.
Definitely could be. See if it pays off.
Yeah,
It's fair to say all of these rounds have been a little bit on the slower side of things. I think that was a Twitch drone.
Yeah, that was one of the Twitch drones, now completely gone, so that is a solid beginning, but that does not stop the breaching charge whatsoever. That is a breach, and that is straight into the side out of all the things. A bit of an oversight there by the defense, and well, Idoga is actually able to get himself back up and running after quite a fair bit of damage from that grenade. My god.
Yeah, really solid breach in there. Reginald's going to be able to find yet another kill. It's Idoga this time around, and here's where we see that collapse start from the gentleman. They're going to be coming on through. Although Marmaduke not quick enough on the trigger to find Stumps, who is able to get a second one. That's huge. That's what they needed out of their roamers. They've got it this round. The man advantage for, I think, the first time in the entire map so far.
Yeah, this is certainly looking just like the round that Beasts could actually clutch out, but still Cornelius is still alive, Reginald is still there, and Eugene are still, even though I'm being very much tagged out, now completely dead, will be pushing it into 3v2. Reginald is still able to fire back, but the diffuser has been dropped in the worst position possible, and Stumps has that power position here to play off. Okay. Reginald just deciding to just Kobe in another grenade and even things out. Now it's a 2v2. Stumps, funnily enough, decided to not actually hold the position right onto the diffuser and instead decided to fall back right back to the site, and well, Reginald is already back onto the site. Gonna try to get some crossfires going as Cornelius finds Stumps, and they just make a comeback. Gentlemen are just completely unstoppable here.
Yeah, not sure if it is a case potentially if, you know, having it trained together, if that is the case, having it scrimmed against each other a lot for practice, if the gentlemen just know how to defeat these defensive holds from the base, or if they are just generally that much better at the game. It'll be interesting to find out. Probably we'll have to wait until the second map to sort of get an idea of where the beasts are at if they go onto the attacking side of things. But yeah, right now, all the obstacles that are being thrown in their faces, they're just jumping straight over them by a long shot. So really not looking good here for the beasts.
Yeah, not at all. Seems that gentlemen are also planning to close things out a little bit quicker, bringing in a Montana and a Blitz as well. The duo of the shields could definitely push the defense to the absolute limit there as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely not envious of what the beasts of MFAC do here. If the Blitz and the Monty push will work, that is.
Well, once again heading back upstairs, and it seems like potentially there's a lack of confidence to attempt any of the other sites because they just keep on switching between the two, hoping, you know, this time it'll work, this time it'll work, this time it'll work, and it just hasn't as of yet.
5 seconds remaining.
But, you know,
they haven't
don't count me on that.
They haven't a good kind of idea, a good theoretical kind of knowledge on what to do and how to do it. It's just, it seems that it's either the timing that is pretty much being the bane of them and a bane of their existence, or rather is just the preparation on the side of gentlemen that seeming to be just doing the better job there. Given that, I mean, we didn't see anything too just out of norm, really. We saw a few rushes, a few just isolated 1v1s, but apart from that, it wasn't anything just completely stellar or something completely unusual. So, oh, hello. That's a bandit. To get rushed as well. Oh, there's the ADS pistol. Does deal a little bit of damage to Benny, but ultimately nothing just yet, or at least nothing to justify any success. There might be a crossfire to be done. Yeah, Stumps is already dealing quite a plentiful amount of damage, and well, let's only died to pretty much just a crossfire without any conclusion or any proper damage. Nothing.
Yeah, Marmaduke just caught between a rock and a hard place realistically and couldn't really find a way out. You know, that shield can't protect you from every single angle, but, you know, once they do get that man advantage, again, gentlemen, they're going to get 2 back. I feel like it's really going to come down to Stumps on the roam. What can they accomplish? Oh, that grenade again! But this time it's Doc able to pull themselves up. Humphrey's going to be able to finish up the kill nevertheless, though. And now the retake starts. Reginald's down, so it's really a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, it is. It was quite a glorified 2v2, but right now Cornelius needs to keep an eye out. He did let the bandit through. did let the Vigil through as well, but no, it's a 1v1 situation. But this is a Monty versus Vigil, and right now, oh, things could go sideways really quickly. 7 seconds to go, 4 seconds to go, no time to defuse in any shape or form, and this is just about it. A GG for this map, as it will be a flawless win here by Gentlemen.
There you go. Swiftest 5-0 you've ever seen. Gentlemen, gonna get that one done and dusted just like that. And there we have it. I guess that really shows who's boss at the moment, but you know, definitely not all over and done for this Beast team. They've still got a chance to bring this one back in the next map, but that one was just absolutely dominant. Cornelius with 9 kills, smashing it, and always in that kill feed. Just a solid game all around from him.
Yeah, absolutely banger of a matchup there for Cornelius and for Gentlemen in general. It's just been just a very, very fruitful matchup and a very confident performance as well, just to show that maybe they're going to be the ones to dominate the leaderboard further down the line in the season of High School League.
Yeah, well, of course, you know, once we really get an idea of where all these teams are, we'll have a better knowledge as to where they sort of stand. But right now, they're looking absolutely incredible. So never really know what will happen after a few weeks' time. But, you know, that does put them in prime position to have a solid second map. Obviously, a bit of momentum. And, of course, this time around, we're heading to Villa. So it should be a solid map. I'm excited to see how this one goes. What are you expecting out of this one?
Look, I mean, if the momentum is still there for Gentlemen, I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to be seeing maybe something across the lines of 5-1 kind of scoreline. Beasts, unfortunately, they were trying to get a few things going for themselves, but it seems that just the fact that Cornelius was able to frag out the adaptability that Gentlemen in general were bringing in was just a little bit better than the adaptability of Beast.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. The Beasts just weren't able to adapt in every situation, no matter what was being thrown at them. You know, obviously the biggest adaptation that the Gentlemen really had to make was not being able to use Thatcher. That was about it. And they were able to overcome that perfectly and quite easily, honestly. And Reginald just playing an absolutely insane game with Twitch for most of that map, able to shut down every single bandit trap with little to no challenge, really, no real consequences coming from that. And you know, those Twitch drones were really able to run free across the map, which does make it so much easier to attack. So yeah, I guess sort of shooting themselves in the foot there, I'd have to say, for Beast.
Yeah, maybe it was the ban phase that kind of did them dirty, but we'll have to see how things will go. For now, though, we are going to be taking a short break to get the players kind of recuperated, maybe give them a breather, and we'll be back with map number 2 in just a short few minutes.
Up onto the site. They've only got the Jaeger and the Clash to deal with, but of course that could be just enough to delay that diffuser plan. Ahuduna has been so good, but the Jaeger goes down, and it's just going to be on the Clash. What can they do from here? Pulls out the pistol, is going to find the first, or rather the SMG, now just sitting in the corner, but the problem is, diffuser is down, gets flanked from behind, and there we go, Mars and Makos. They're going to be able to get their first round on the board after a very good late push into the bomb side.
The breach instead will be coming around onto the electrical box, so that is going to be an ensured should match up and push. Oh, Mokaji actually goes in for a very ballsy one onto Kenjaz, and that is already a solid beginning. ICB claiming the massive, huge here, man advantage here, and already able to find the 4-2 scoreline here so far. But oh, there's a Tangubus down, and all up to Xerix to try to make a comeback here.
Yeah, last alive and can't make it work. So there we go, ICP. They're going to take this map, and it's going to be 5 rounds to 3 in the end. Marsden mounting a little bit of a comeback, but unfortunately just not able to make it happen, and there we go.
The Diffuser has been picked up by Ahad, and that's already the entrance right onto site.
Yeah, 1 versus 2, but Genja's borderline no health left, 1 HP, if even that. Dax runs on through, shuts down Ahad. That's going to be the 4th round in the favour of Marsden. They're on up right now, and this is looking good to stay in the map. And they find the first kill. They do indeed. That's huge. That's going to put Kasuke down and out. It's all up to Ilox to win this round. Can they do it? Up against 2.
Yeah, this is going to be quite a rough patch here. Ilox is really low on health here, so he's going to be quite a tall order. He needs to not be figured out where he is, but there's already the full knowledge, and well, it's Fofis the Fofis to actually win out the round. ICB going to be reclaiming the round and will be potentially starting their comeback here as well.
And there we go, yeah. He's going to be able to get the trade. Xerix follows up. That's the deep roam, the deep lurk as well. That's out of action. Kenjaz with just another one. Dan Kubis is getting pushed here by the Monty. Trying to peek around to go for the kill. Does get the drop onto Xerix, but not before Xerix finds the teammate. And there we go. It's going to be Marsden with a very comprehensive final round to win it out here on Cafe after what I thought was the end of things with the, not having a soft breacher. They're able to win the round in relative comfort
Well, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for waiting, and I hope you guys enjoyed that little break with the video of last week's highlights. Cthulhu, that series was really quite close the entire night through. What's your real main comparison between that and what we're seeing tonight being so one-sided?
Look, honestly, it feels that is just between the two last week's teams, rather. It was just two kind of different metas kind of clashing, 2 different play styles. So we saw a few rounds to be taken away by both sides. But here, I'm somewhat tempted to maybe blame it on the fact that these are the 2 teams that already kind of play within the same team. So they have maybe same kind of rumors, same ideas. And so maybe that's what kind of hurting one or another. Whereas, with the last time, it was just 2 different almost regions, you could technically say. So that's what I'm thinking here. But again, at the same time, surely there could have been some extra training to be done outside of these 2 groups.
Yeah, I think it's clear to say that the Beasts just aren't quite at that same level. They've got a lot of promise, absolutely, but the gentlemen are just that level above. It's almost like back when I was at school and you've got the A team and the B team, or in my case, it's like the Z team. But yeah, it's kind of like you've got your team that's the pride and joy. They're the ones that you send out to win the championship. But then you've got the other team that's just in there to fill out the numbers. But hopefully that can help these Beast players improve and actually get better at what they're doing, especially if they do have that chance to train with and to learn from this gentleman roster. It could definitely see them get a lot better at the game by the end of the season. And I think it's fair to say that's really all we want out of this, is to just see these guys start to really build a bit of confidence playing some Siege.
Yeah. This is all still very much of a kind of entry-level competition for all of those players, and it's a good kind of grassroots beginning here for them to ease themselves into this whole esports environment. So it's definitely all of it is very much of a kind of a study ground for them almost, yeah, just to try to maybe perfect their craft or maybe perfect their chemistry here. So at the very least, even if you're taking an L here in the matchups, at the very least you get a plentiful amount of VOD material that you can go over, kind of look at where the mistakes were made, how maybe you can correct them, and then use that for the dry runs with your team.
Yeah, and of course, this is just one team that they're going up against in amongst all the rest of them in the league. So, maybe this is just not their day. This is just not their matchup, but get them in front of some of the other teams in the league. They might have a much better chance. So, again, until we really get a few weeks into this and start to understand the levels of these teams, we won't really know what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's still definitely the whole picture is kind of being formed. So, yeah, we are going to be definitely seeing further down the line kind of the whole leaderboard to shape up a little bit more as some of those teams start clashing against some of the harder ones. So, yeah, so Villa is going to be our second map here between these two teams. Beast and Gentleman will be clashing once again within this best of two. And this is going to be the second chance for Beast to maybe grant themselves a few, if not the map win, maybe a few rounds for the round differential further down the line.
Yeah, at least a couple of rounds would be nice to see out of these Beast players. I definitely think they've got what it takes to win some of these rounds. That they just haven't. They've fallen short at the last moment. They've peaked the wrong way in a 50-50, things like that, which are really unpredictable. But here we go. Villa is going to be the location we're jumping on into. And of course, thank you to our partners. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. Of course, Ubisoft, ZQ Racing, and Computer Alliance making this all happen. The High School League going strong 2 weeks in, and I'm sure it's just going to get better. But I'm excited to see this one play out. What I'm interested to see is, if maybe Beast are able to start to build something and maybe get a bit of momentum. Maybe that's what they really need here, and they will be, of course, starting on the attacking side. So maybe this is their shot to show what they've got up against the defensive Gentlemen.
Yeah, this time it's Gentlemen who will be bringing in the defense. We saw the defense already on Oregon of Beast. Now this time Beast will get to potentially dictate the pace here for themselves. Once again, it's Thatcher to get banned out straight away, and I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to be seeing maybe either a Hibana or maybe a Thatcher, a Thermite rather, to be banned out maybe.
Well,
okay.
There we go, Maverick. That's an interesting choice, but I'm not super surprised because the Gentlemen did use Maverick quite a bit on their offensive sides. Every couple of rounds they brought them out, so not overly surprised. But that being said, if Gentlemen are able to continue the way that they went in that first map, we probably won't really see that second half where they might actually be able to use it. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one nonetheless to see if it actually comes to fruition.
Yeah. Talking about something interesting, Bandit is actually getting banned out. Now that is a very unusual one, given that a fair few teams do favor Bandit to deny some of the breaches, but it seems that maybe Beasts don't really want to bother with that in any shape or form, and Caveira to be banned out by Gentlemen. Curious about a few of these bans. Maybe we are going to be seeing some changes to be done here in general kind of pace of the game, but so far round number 1 of map number 2 will be coming to potentially to fruition very soon, and we are going to be seeing it being played out on AVG, or Aviator Room and Games Room.
Well, 6-pick time, and Eugene is going to opt for that mirror, potentially. Hasn't locked it in just yet, but there we go. Mirror coming through. Chiz swapping out Buck for Twitch. Mirror is going to be an interesting one, because obviously we saw a ban in the last map this time around.
And defuse bombs.
We'll see if that utility is going to be as effective as we've all seen it be in the past.
Yeah, Bandit's lack of Bandit is certainly going to be very odd to say at the very least. Just, yeah, because usually in the competitive kind of meta, severity seeing him out, because Kayed is still a very kind of unreliable way to trick out some of the breaches, and Mute only pretty much just delays it. Delays the inevitable, you could say, rather.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, it's going to be a very different sort of defensive setup that we see here, I think. But nevertheless, we get it underway. Some pre-fires from Spawn, but they bear no fruit. And making this one quite slow. 4 players spawning from the same location here. Still just spamming on through. Benny just hoping to get lucky with a stray bullet, maybe.
And meanwhile, it's Eugene who's actually just watching patiently from that mirror window, waiting for the moment of truth to come around. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a much slower pace that what Gentlemen were bringing in. Definitely Beast are looking at just maybe trying to get some early picks before they start making some advancements here, but even that potentially could be to be quite a challenge, really.
Well, I think if anything, we're probably going to see that's different between these two teams, that's a stark contrast, is going to be the roaming, as Beast really didn't utilize it that well in the last map. And when they did have the roamer, especially Vigil, they seemed to opt for. They're able to get 1 or 2 kills sometimes, but it just didn't really do much for their defense. So I'm expecting to see quite a solid roam out of Cornelius, who, again, top frag last map. So in this position, it's a perfect sort of role to be able to increase those numbers.
Yeah, what's interesting as well, Beast actually didn't even prompt to go for that hunt in any shape or form. Instead, they just, well, they held a few angles and then straight after that just kind of said, oh, well, just gonna leave him. He's not dealing any kind of damage to us yet, so might as well just keep on moving. Cornelius is just around the corner, I believe. No, he's actually going for the flank, but oh! Was able to claim at least a single frag, but gets straighted out pretty quickly, and that is looking like we just might be seeing finally MFAC Beasts to start getting those frags and maybe the points as well.
I thought for a second there that it had just gone so well for Beast and they were going to be able to shut down the fight, but right now everything looking like it's going well for Beast. They're able to get these trade in, but no, there we go. Squaznut now last alive, 1 versus 2. Reginald very low, but only 10 seconds on the clock, and it doesn't have the diffuser in hand. So after a turn of events, Gentlemen able to flip this one back on its head, and in the end it's going to be that mirror to come on through with the kill.
Yeah, once again, this is probably the best showcase of how potent can mirror be and how much it can allow with some of those plays, some of those entries. So yeah, that angle that pretty much Mute and Mirror held was incredibly hard to really contest from the get-go, and in a 1v2 situation, well, you pretty much at this point just dead meat, unfortunately for Beast. So, well, it's Trophy Room and Statuary will be the choice for the next attempt, but I definitely like what Beasts are really bringing out. They were a bit more methodical on their pushes. Essentially, where they wanted to go, they went, cleared it out, and then started prepping themselves for the push. And this is where they kind of started slipping up. So, at the very least, they were able to get some openings for themselves. They were able to claim a fair bit of ground before they started making a few of those mistakes. So, already an improvement compared to what we saw on Oregon.
Yeah, definitely working well with the trades, able to find positions where they're in the advantage. Cornelius lucky enough to get away with a kill on that roam. I thought surely the kill came through for Beast first, but unfortunately no. But nevertheless, onwards and upwards. Round 2, here we go. Can Beast start to turn things around, or are Gentlemen just going to sweep on through this one like they did on Clubhouse? Or rather, Oregon, sorry. As we get this one underway, action phase. And let's see if Beast have something different to offer this time.
Already we're seeing some push at the bottom floor from Chiz, trying to maybe get some early frags onto some of the roamers. Cornelius is actually this time rolling around with the MP5K on the mute, and he has a hunch. Now he knows that there might be a push coming through from the bottom with the peek, and oh, just has a little bit more of the reflex there. Can't actually deal any damage to Chiz, and will be utilizing his C4 to maybe slow his approach after taking a little bit of punishment. But this is a great beginning here. Already a C4 extinguished. Only one remaining, and well, only now Chiz is having a few issues. So this is the time when the remainder of MFAC Beast will start making the push in through the master bedroom.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Gonna make that push come on through. See 3 players from Gentlemen just sort of chilling in a very similar location. Just watching over that hatch and the vertical play there.
Look at that stack, holy. There's one way to make sure that this location will be absolutely impenetrable. Chiz, meanwhile, is on alert. As a buck, a little bit tagged up, might be able to find something, but Humphrey as well is on a roam and on the hunt. Don't think his position is knowledgeable. Yes, Stumps has completely ignored that position, but maybe suspecting something. It's not entirely sure there.
Yeah, they're going to have to think about it potentially. Oh, that's an easy giveaway kill. Stumps can't do anything about that. Humphrey going to be able to make it work. And now it's really up to Chiz. Can Chiz have a shot at getting the trade back? Reginald's going to find the second. C4 might come out here. No, gets down just in time. Chiz somehow staying alive.
Yeah, Chiz almost magically is able to get away from that gunfight, albeit now on 1 HP. Essentially, for the time being, it's a 2 versus 4 with Benny and Squaznut remaining, and even they don't seem to be able to find at least any openings just yet, as timer is ticking, Gumine is in the foot, no health whatsoever, and all the angles being held here by Gentlemen. And another round to be claimed. What seems to be now is an attempt to make a flawless maybe best of 2 here.
Yeah, it's really looking like there's nothing much that can stop the Gentlemen right now, and I think it's fair to say that's something that they did really well in the first map, was their late round execution. Actually, when that final push came on through, they were able to get it done, and in a reasonable amount of time. We're just not seeing that here from the Beasts, and as you can see on screen, they've got a total of 4 kills on the entire team. Stumps hasn't even found one. Really not a good start for them.
Maybe a few kind of offbeat decisions on the roster changes could be done here with the operators. I mean, bringing in already a Finka, Blackbeard, and a Monty, it's already one way to make a few interesting pushes, and all of those picks are still very much workable here, especially the Monty pick, which could turn things around quite quickly. Humphrey's setup with the shotgun actually should allow a plentiful area for the defense for anyone that will be trying to roam up above. I would be imagining that will be Cornelius after he's done setting up his new jammers. But yeah, right now this is looking like Gentlemen will have pretty much an impenetrable fortress here to really even play against.
5 seconds to insertion. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Let's kick it off. Action phase once again.
Let's proceed slowly.
Interesting to note that the Gentlemen actually lost 2-0 to Lenvius
Bomb located by attackers.
last week around, so Beasts are actually at the top of the table as things stand. So this will be interesting how it sort of shakes things up. As these teams will most likely go 1 win and 1 loss each.
Well, we'll have to see that. Chiz is going to be given pretty much a free position to repel in, but right now, actually, that repel in is definitely forcing Cornelius to get a little bit more jittery about his peaks, as well as his movement and positioning. But for now, nothing too large. There is already the spot that came through, so at the very least, the attention will be applied here and pushed to essentially to apply more firepower there towards that pantry. And well, it's actually Eugene that will be, well, Eugene and Cornelius to apply that crossfire to pretty much extinguish the fire of Chiz.
Yeah, well, they're able to find the trade and, importantly, using a Finker health boost on that one. And it's got them back on level peggings, and not just that, very importantly, they've got the Echo. That's a really, really necessary kill going into this one, but it is traded back out again. Stumps still yet to frag. Out of action. And that means no more Finker boost. Benny follows suit, and it's just Squaznut and Adoga.
Adoga knows that there is somebody up above. We'll be able to at least give a few shots to scare the player away, but that's not enough to win yourself around. That's not enough to get the frag, and well, Marmaduke is going to be the one to get rid of Adoga. And now Squaznut is just pretty much not having a good time at all. We'll be trying to get something, but that's almost a flawless round. Eugene to shut things down while the mute was taking all the attention. And well, dining is all done and dusted. Everyone had their feed, and it's a flawless 3-site rotation.
Yeah, they've just gone through one after the other. Not made any serious mistakes, really. That first round was the closest it's been, and that gave me a lot of hope. I think it gave you a bit of hope as well that we might see B start to pick up, but it's just once again flipped back in the other direction. Gentlemen have the momentum, and it doesn't look like that train is going to be slowing down anytime soon. It's expressed straight into the CBD, and they're not stopping for anyone.
Sure is. No stops on that train, no remorse whatsoever. It's certainly looking like even Gentlemen are not planning to really make any changes to their lineup here as well. It's just they're unrelenting, and they want to get this dub as quickly as possible, and just at this point just call it a day. Have maybe a few just chill times and just practice with the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one thing that you have to consider, obviously, being high school students. A lot of homework and whatnot to do. They might not have as much time as you or I to be able to jump on and play a few games, but nevertheless, it is so important, just as important as it is to do, sports practice or practice your map. It is important to practice your skills in a game if you want to take it seriously as an esport. And that's their plans, and yeah, you definitely want to give at least a few hours of practice every week. But nevertheless, here we go, round 4. The Gentlemen looking poised to take this one out in 5 again, and they do it. Oh wow, that's a great first opening shot from Benny. That's what they've been looking for the entire way through, and they found it this time around.
And there it is, finally some quality opening here for Benny, finally able to flick onto Reginald's helmet, or head rather, and that is the mute with the C4 now gone, leaving only up to Humphrey to do any kind of explosive destruction. But 4v5, this is probably one of the better beginnings here for Beast to maybe try to take the round here off Gentlemen. Because right now, apart from that, there's the remainder of the momentum has been so far slowed back down to what it used to be before.
Yeah, well, I think as long as they're able to get effective trades from here on out, they should be in a good spot. But of course, that has been a problem for them, and there's been many a time we've seen Cornelius with 2-3k rounds. So they really need this to go a little bit differently find a couple of trade kills. Don't allow this gentleman team back into things and get that man advantage once again.
And well, talking about letting in, it's Stumps that actually was able to get the early entry. Does manage to find a shot onto Humphrey, and already on side, calling out to the rest of the team already. Come through, come around. I got the site. Marmaduke does able to find a shot. Same goes with the maestro of gentlemen, that is Eugene, to find a punishment back onto Ash. And we are back to a 3v3, make it 3v2, as Marmaduke is just absolutely relentless with that UMP. Almost gets another one, but no. Squaznot is the one to push this into the team's favor, but not for long, as it's Cornelius to wipe up the floor with Idoga.
Yeah, again, just not able to take advantage of that man advantage at the start of the round, and it's put them in a very compromised position. Squaznut down less than 50 HP, probably around 45. Really not looking good. Diffuser
Attackers recovered
is
the
down. Has been picked up.
I'm not too sure what is Squaznot trying to do here. He does see that mirror window, but Cornelius surely will be quite thirsty for that frag sometime soon, but instead it's Maestro. He has the angle, he has the mirror window, and well, now he has a round for his team as well.
I mean, the idea was there, but even with that concussion, it's just going to be quite a simple spray. No sort of thought process there as to maybe Squaznot should go for the kill themselves, but there we have it. 4 rounds in a row, looking absolutely on top of their game right now. The gentlemen seem to be more or less unbeatable right now, and it's not really the result that we wanted nor what we expected before we started things off here tonight, but 2 quick 5-0s. It looks like I might be able to get some exercise in before our curfew starts here in Melbourne.
Well, don't hold your breath. Maybe we are going to be seeing maybe an attempt at the comeback here. We are, though, going to Trophy, which was last time won out pretty swiftly there, thanks to the efforts of Cornelius and co. But yeah, so maybe, just maybe, you might be able to get that, that walk-in. But looking at the lineup, we have a slight change. It's Cornelius to bring in a Frost mat, well, rather Frost and her Frost mats, rather, for to the play. And on the side of Beast, it's the Gridlock choice, as well as the Amaru, to maybe gain some early entry and maybe get some early frags as well before the the chaos settles in.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Yeah, it's going to be so important to get an early couple of kills, but I mean, we've said that and we've seen that a couple of times on this map, and it just hasn't resulted in anywhere near a base win. So it doesn't seem like there's anything that I can point out and be like, alright, yeah, that works, that's going to go down, that's going to be a position where Beast can win, because no matter how many winning positions they sort of seem to get into, they're just not able to close it out. Their late round game just isn't on point, and it's just struggle street all around for them right now. But that being said, there is still opportunity to prove us wrong and to get back into this game and make the comeback start.
Well, talking about some early entries, Idoga already managed to make his way over to the classical hole, where Stumps could be potentially rendezvousing with him. There it is. Oh, does see the gunfight, but the gunfight takes him rather over. It's Humphrey to win out once again. A roaming castle out of all of the operators. We'll be seeing the dub here, potentially looking for another one, as Idoga going to be trying to engage, but the G8 this time will be able to win it out. So a trade 4v4 is already not a bad setup, albeit losing out on Ash is one of the less important things right now.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting you put Stumps, your player with the lowest amount of kills. I mean, Chiz also has just one, but Stumps took quite a while to find their first kill, and putting them on the Ash maybe to try and give them a bit of confidence, just run on through. Ash, obviously known as just being able to run through and find kills willy-nilly.
Yeah, oh man, the C4. Oh, the C4 could have been huge. There it is. Able to claim Idoga. And now the whole Beast lineup is definitely going to be all in shambles. He's off here. It might be suspecting about a peek, but oh, fantastic headshot. And it's just all a cleanup. Absolute butchery here by Gentlemen. And, well, that's another 5-0.
Yeah, G's all round. That was just a perfect play in the last round coming out of the Gentleman squad. The Rome was on point, able to find some pretty easy kills. In the end there, it just isn't to be for the Beast squad. So there we have it. 8 kills for Marmaduke, for Cornelius as well. All round solid performance from these players on the Gentleman roster, and that does shake up the standings a little bit because it puts both of these teams on 1 win and 1 loss. And we'll see how that sort of affects things once a couple of the other results from tonight come through.
Yeah, genuinely curious how will the rest of the season shape up, and whether and which one of the teams will be able to dethrone the Gentlemen as well. Because so far they are probably the reigning champions so far, being able to get the whole matchup as a just complete flawless 5-0, 5-0.
Yeah,
certainly that's already quite a statement.
It definitely is. I mean, being able to go flawless in a map of Siege is not an easy accomplishment. So to be able to do it in the way that they did it, also the fact that the first map, they were on the attacking side, which on most maps of Siege is seen as the weaker side. It does definitely put them, up there in our power rankings, if you will. But of course, we still have a few games to go before you really get an idea of where these teams stand and what we expect from them. But there we have it. 2 5-0s in a row. Any final thoughts from that one?
Yeah, look, I'm just keen yet to see how will the leaderboard further down the line really evolve with an HSL. It's certainly looking like we might be seeing a bit top-heavy, maybe top 3 teams that will be at the end battling it out. But this is where kind of the juiciest matchups will be coming out. This is where it's going to be going down to the last remaining round and to the last remaining second. So the longer season evolves, the more kind of quality matches we are definitely going to be getting here.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, similar thing happened with the first season of the Women's League. It took a while before we really knew where everyone stood, and some teams that looked incredible had a couple of bad games, and, the results, the final ladder standings came down to the final week of play. So really anything can happen throughout the season. Speaking of Women's League, of course, make sure you return to this channel at about 7 o'clock, where we're going to have the Women's League Season 2. Cthulhu, of course, is going to be commentating over that one. But apart from that, on behalf of our sponsors, ZQ Racing, Ubisoft, and Computer Alliance, Cthulhu and myself, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again next week.
5 seconds remaining, ball on the blue side. It's not gonna happen. STMC Gold take the grand final.
Because with live sport cancelled and footy fields deserted, there's never been a better time to be a gamer.
Second attempt, but no boost to fall through. He's trying desperately to get another touch, but he just cannot get there. And with 5 seconds remaining, that could have been the last attempt. Colt's gonna get one more goal in. And STMC Gold take game number 1 with that goal right there. Granted,
playing online games in a school uniform is now the next big thing.
Bonnie is now in a position. The C4 comes out, melts out Lightning. Can't get the follow-up frag.
This is the world of esports, aka sporting comps played via online games.
tears creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop.